That's a day of judgment. We can regenerate from that one. Ha ha! Look at us making the right call. Today on Commander Replay, we check out Skithiryx and find out just how much people love the Blight Dragon. Next on Commander Replay. Hey guys, help support me and save 15% on singles by using the promo code REPLAY at mothershipaTX.com. Commander Replay t-shirts, available in orange and colors beside orange. Welcome back everyone, playing some Skithiryx the Blight Dragon today, and today's deck list comes to us from Patreon supporter Jeff. This is a no-lander. Looks like we're gonna have to take the free mulligan. This is okay. Got 3 mana. That Ancient Tomb will kill us very quickly. I'm gonna mulligan again because I just got out of a game where I was stuck on mana. Okay, yeah, this is much better. So much better. 2 lands in Armillary Sphere? Love it. Love Armillary Sphere. This is how you prevent yourself from getting stuck in the early game, like I did in the game a few moments ago. What can we get rid of? Well, we gotta put something back. That's a piece of removal. That's a piece of removal. How much do we care about this big game hunter? We can get rid of the big game hunter, I think. But yeah, early game Armillary Sphere is a very good place to be. For exactly this reason, too, we had to mulligan, and, you know, when you mulligan, you just have less cards. So now we're able to turn 1 card into 2 cards. Those cards are both lands. That is a very helpful thing to do. Scry a Temple for opponent. Opponent gains a life. Our turn 1, there's a Whisper Silk Cloak, play a Swamp, tap out and pass. So yes, we're playing Skithiryx the Blight Dragon, affectionately known as Skittles, and this is kind of one of the older boogeymen of the format. It's a 4/4 flying with Infect. You can pay a black to give it haste, and you can pay double black to regenerate it. The Infect makes it kill super quickly. It does not take much for a Skithiryx to take you out of the game. You're talking about needing to put an additional 6 power on Skithiryx, which is not hard to do, or, you know, in the days of Commander of old, you could just attack them twice with like +1/+1, and that would be fine. Today, people kind of see that coming more, so now you'd probably just try to make it big and like one-shot people with it. But yeah, Infect. Infect is a really powerful mechanic that really cuts down the amount of damage that you need to do. The thing that's largely kept it in check is that Infect is generally on creatures that aren't good. Skithiryx is the exception to that. It's like the one really good Infect creature, so, you know, opponents will need to be very careful with this because it can beat you pretty easily, and we just have some nasty cards in the deck. We'll take a peek at it in a second. We draw a Burnished Heart, more ramp, love it. The mana is coming together. Play this Armillary Sphere. Opponent did cast their commander last turn. They had an Ancient Tomb, so got it in nice and quick. And they did venture into the dungeon. They're in the Dungeon of the Mad Mage. They've gained 1 life already. They're going to equip Nadaar. Oh my. They put a commander's plate on it, so it's got protection from 4 colors. That also seems really good. They're going to venture again. This time they scry. Who's getting it? We're getting it. Ooh. Yeah, we're going to need some of our colorless creatures as blockers here in a second. Cause, yeah. Phyrexian Arena for opponent. Brings back to our turn. There's an O Naginata. Let's crack the Armillary Sphere since we don't have a land. God, I love Armillary Sphere. Armillary Sphere, way better than Wayfarer's Bauble. If that was a Wayfarer's Bauble, we would still just be on 3 lands, and we'll be stuck on 3 lands. But instead, we play our 3rd land, and next turn, we'll play our 4th land. Get the O Naginata into play, since it is only 1 mana. And we'll pass like that. See if opponent wants to come back our way this turn, or if they want to spread it out a little bit. They venture again. They're going to get through this dungeon pretty quickly. Getting your commander on turn 2, pretty good. Now they create a treasure token. Going into Sean this time. Let's take a read of Nadaar, by the way, being piloted by Pauper R. Bust, who almost exclusively plays red or red-black decks on the channel, so interesting to see them with mono white today. But I already like what I'm seeing from this Nadaar deck. Anyway, it's a 3 mana 3/3 with Vigilance, and when it enters the battlefield or attacks, it ventures into the dungeon. Other creatures you control get +1/+1 as long as you've completed a dungeon. And it's just got really cool art. I love the art on this card. I personally feel that if you're playing this commander, you need to run Faith Shield. 1, because it's a good card, but 2, for flavor reasons of Nadaar has an awesome shield. So that's a thing that I would do, especially if you're looking at like Blacksmith Skill, which is also a great card, but for flavor reasons, Faith Shield. Looks like he's doing a little bit of a Voltron thing, and that is certainly a way to go with Nadaar and get little bits of value as you're going through the dungeons. I imagine it'll probably struggle a bit in the late game as other people get going. You know, that tends to be where mono white is not the best as, you know, as green decks or, you know, Cabal coffers start coming into play and people are able to get big explosive amounts of mana. Mono white doesn't do that so well, so that's where I think the shortcomings with Nadaar will probably fall. But moving on from that, we've got Sean piloting his Kaalia of the Vast deck. A very solid, but not the most savage of all the Kaalia decks. I did watch an episode of, I think it was Playing with Power. I think last week, probably a few weeks ago by the time you guys see this video, and they had a CEDH Kaalia on there, and it did really well. So it's not that brand of Kaalia, but it's still Kaalia, so it does things. And then finally, we've got D-Manny piloting Sedris the Traitor King, another one we've seen a little bit. It's 98 cards that don't matter and a Grey Merchant of Asphodel. That's basically what the deck is. Unfortunate to say, but that's kind of what reanimators have become in this day and age. It's a little bit sad, actually. The other things you do just don't matter. The only thing that matters is that Grey Merchant. Kinda sucks. Anyway, it brings us back to our turn. We draw a Thran Dynamo, play a Swamp. We'll play the Solemn Simulacrum, get this blocker in. Make sure we're not getting crushed by this Nadaar. Next turn, maybe think about like Thran Dynamo into Burnished Heart or something like that. Use the ability. Get a Swamp and pass like that. Opponent going on the attack again. Can't see who it's at yet, but they're still in the Dungeon of the Mad Mage. Looks like they're going to scry 2 on this one. There's where they're at. They're at the Lost level. This one's going into D-Manny. He takes 6 Commander. 3 of us have 6 Commander from the Nadaar. I think he can crack an Inventor's Fair if he wants to. Or he could play a God Eternal Oketra. Also good. Phyrexian Arena Trigger. There's a Kakusho. Those are pretty good. There's a Swamp. Swamps are good. Play a Swamp. We'd be one short of cracking the Burnished Heart, which I don't love. So maybe we go Thran Dynamo, and then cast Skithiryx. And then next turn, with the Thran Dynamo mana, we can easily get the Burnished Heart and crack it. I like that. Get the Skithiryx, also a flying blocker. Should keep some things away, hopefully. And we're also set up to attack. It's the type of thing that, like, opponents just have to deal with it, so. There's a path on the Skithiryx, yep. I mean, that's a piece of ramp. Is it the best? No, it's not the best, but it's another Swamp. On the other hand, you know what? Maybe that exile is better served for like a Kakusho or a Grey Merchant or something that will like most definitely kill us as this game gets going. I guess this exile's a creature. Maybe we want to think about that. Mangara coming in. Opponent's going to make a 4/4. Yep. Solid board state over there. Those are some pretty good white cards. What happens at the end of this one? Draw 3 cards, reveal them. You may cast one of them without paying its mana cost. It's not bad. Opponent is sending a God Eternal Oketra our way. I think I'm going to take that one just so we can continue to block Nadaar. The commander damage scares me more than the regular damage. 2 cards get exiled. I think that was off of this. Exile the top 2 cards of your library. You may play them. Yep. Plains and a Grand Abolisher are both pretty good. There's a Comeuppance. Ooh, nice. I think that'll take down the Nadaar. How about that? The Comeuppance as a piece of spot removal. It is almost exclusively the board wipe or the fog, but in this case, trying to kill the Nadaar. Yep, we'll take the 6 from the God Eternal Oketra. And they just recast their commander, no big deal. That's what you can do when you have lots of mana. They did get a Marble Diamond in it at some point. This Ancient Tomb doing a lot of work for them. Another marker, they scry 3. Wow. They are getting through this thing. Passes the turn, Phyrexian Arena Trigger for the Kaalia. They have a Hazard's Monument in play. Oh, that's a Blasphemous Act. Okay, I see what's going on. We draw a Phyrexian Scriptures. +1 counter on up to 1 target creature becomes an artifact. Destroy all non-artifact creatures. Exile all cards from opponents' graveyards. That is a very good thing against a Reanimator deck. Trying to time that the right way will be interesting, but you can at least get rid of the Kakusho and Feldon. There's a Kaalia. Skithiryx is one that used to be really popular on Magic Online maybe 6 years ago, maybe more than that. Time all kind of blends together now. But a ways back, Skithiryx was one that I would run into a lot, especially in the 1v1 rooms, and it was a really difficult opponent in 1v1, because they basically just need their commander to stay in play, and they are threatening to kill you very quickly, so you just need a lot of removal, probably a lot of exile, maybe some flying blockers, but they'll probably fire some removal at you. Spot removal is really effective in 1v1. It loses a little bit of steam in multiplayer, but ooh, that's an Ashiok? Gross. It's going to shut down our Burnished Heart, which I don't love. Target player mills 4 cards, they mill themselves, and then exile all the graveyards. Okie dokie. There's a Dockside in the graveyard, that one's also annoying. But yeah, this used to be a very powerful and very popular commander. It's still pretty powerful. It's not combo-y like things can be now, but just it being in play means that there's always a threat that you just die to infect damage, and it doesn't take much to do it, so. Anyway, it brings it back to our turn. There's an Ancient Tomb. Play the Ancient Tomb. Can't search, so Burnished Heart, not the best. I guess we just recast our commander, then. We'll use the Ancient Tomb. I think we can maybe get the Whisper Silk Cloak on. How much is this to equip? 2 to equip. Yeah, we can get the Whisper Silk Cloak on it, or we can leave up Regenerate. Let's get Onaganada, and then we'll leave up Regenerate. That seems like a good idea. Oh, if we tap differently? Yeah, if we tap differently, we could have gave it haste. Could have gave it haste. Haste or Regenerate. Opponents are pretty low on cards. We'll stay like this. We'll stay like this. Yep, definitely could have tapped better, and we could be attacking someone. I'm also not above attacking that Ashiok. I know it doesn't just drop people out of the game like you want it to, but that Ashiok, not great for us. Not great for a lot of things, honestly, because it's also going to mill them. That's a Day of Judgment. We can regenerate from that one. Ha ha! Look at us making the right call. I guess we still could have attacked if we had the black mana up, but Skithiryx gonna survive. Kaalia goes down, Dark Confidant goes down. If that was a Wrath of God, we would not have been able to regenerate. It's rare that ever comes up. So incredibly rare that I ever see regeneration matter in a game of Commander. This is like one of the few cards, maybe a Thrun the Last Troll, but that's a card I haven't seen in a Commander game in a very long time at this point. Maybe if you're doing Troll Tribal or something like that, but yeah. Totem Armor doesn't regenerate, does it? It's like some other separate mechanic that actually protects it. I forget. I'd have to go look at the rules in that. Opponent did get the Grand Abolisher in, so can't cast stuff during their turn. Lyra Dawnbringer coming in. Opponent will loot. They do. Discard a land. Yep, we're gonna do the Ashiok thing again. Don't love it. Yeah, I think I might just go for the Ashiok. I know that we could, like, focus someone down, but it's a pretty savage thing to do. I feel pretty bad about it. It sort of falls into the realm of, like, not letting your opponent play the game because you can just kill them that quickly. So, you know, it doesn't feel all that dissimilar from something like, you know, a Stacks Lockout or something, or Counterspell Lock, Winter Orb. Any of the cards that say you don't get to play the game anymore. In Skithiryx's case, because you're dead. In the other cases, because you can't cast things. That's a Toxic Deluge, X5. Huh, didn't see that coming. I guess we can just recast Skithiryx, have the same turn again, except use our mana the right way and kill this Ashiok? Seems like a plan. Gate to the Afterlife. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, you gain a life, then you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. Yeah, good for Reanimator. Brings it back to our turn. There's a Murderous Rider. Helpful. Let's cast Skithiryx. It's so much mana. Well, we should probably watch out for this Ancient Tomb. I'm going to try to find something really big to shoot with this Noxious Gear Hulk and gain a lot of life. Let's give it haste this time. I'll leave up the black so we can regenerate it should someone try to shoot it again. The extra damage won't be relevant against the Planeswalker. I really just want this Planeswalker gone. Attack the Ashiok. Ashiok goes down. And we'll pass like that. Next turn, yeah, we've got options next turn. I want to get this thing going so we can try to exile all the graveyards, because it'll be a few turns by the time that actually happens at this point. So probably need to start working towards that. Here comes Nadaar back to play. They get to scry one off the Path of Ancestry, and then they'll venture once it actually enters the battlefield. And they're going to the last part of the dungeon. Mad Wizard's Lair. Draw 3 cards. You may cast one of them without paying its mana cost. They drew God Eternal Oketra, a Soul Warden, and a Martial Coup. Martial Coup is pretty good. They went for the God Eternal Oketra for free. Then they cast the Souls Warden, get a 5/5. Okay, they have rebuilt very quickly. So this board wipe looking fantastic. Probably use Burnished Heart as a blocker, so we'll want to leave 6 mana for that. Oh, that's a mana geyser. What's he got? 18 red mana. 7 cards in hand. Can loot as he casts creatures. There's a Dream Pillager. Deals combat damage to a player. Exile that many cards from the top of your library. Until end of turn, you may cast them. Okay. Not the scariest dragon, but does generate value. Soul Warden triggers. That's an Avacyn. Probably have to hit it with the Baleful Mastery. Avacyn isn't great for us, but Skithiryx can get through it better than, like, most things can. But, yeah, we definitely need to use the exile on it, even though I really want to get the Grey Merchant with it, because I just don't want to die to the Grey Merchant. There's a Sedisi. Yep. They sacrifice the Sedisi to itself. They'll get the Gate to the Afterlife trigger. Oh, that's got 7 toughness. That's a pretty good target. Probably try to stay away from Ancient Tomb this turn. Gate to the Afterlife. We're searching for God Pharaoh's Gift. Oh, yeah, that's a card. It comes into play. I'm not going to like this one bit. They go to combat, they get a trigger. What are they bringing back? Dockside? Anything that draws cards? They're out of cards, so they probably need to draw some cards. Archon of Cruelty is super nasty. Yeah, they go for the Archon, because it's an insane magic card. Target opponent sacrifices a creature or a planeswalker, discards a card, and loses 3 life. You draw a card and gain 3 life. Ugh. I mean, that almost has to come our way. Goes after the white player. Okay. Trimming back the zombies is not the worst idea. I don't know, I was thinking about going after D-Manny, but maybe we use this kind of momentum shift to swing that way. Normally I'd also exile the Avacyn right here, but I have a feeling that I really just want to maintain maximum flexibility in this moment, because things are going to escalate very soon, so I'm just going to hold off for as long as I can on that. Oh, the thing didn't gain haste. Oh, that's disappointing. Yep, that's a bug. There's a Cryptghast. That's a really good pickup. Now we'll use the Ancient Tomb. Actually, we can go Thran Dynamo, I guess. There's life gain on that, too. That's also really good. Let's get the Phyrexian Scriptures. We'll use the Ancient Tomb because we can gain some life. Extort. Yeah, we're going to extort. Pay for that. Go back to 20. I'm actually going to put the counter on the Cryptghast because I'd like to keep it alive through the Phyrexian Scriptures. Let's cast a Burnished Heart. Yeah, we're going to extort again. We have one floating that's a little awkward, but it's fine. We'll give Skithiryx haste. I think we attack D-Manny. Actually, I don't know. Yeah, we'll attack Pauper like we talked about. D-Manny hasn't really looked in our direction too much yet. If they start to, then, things will change here, but opponent takes 4 Infect. Equip the Commander's Plate to Nadaar. Yep. Plate armor. Okay. I'm gonna swing over to D-Manny. 5/5 our way. 4/7 our way. Ooh. Yeah, maybe we should have thought about that. Opponent ventures back into the Dungeon of the Mad Mage. Yep. Their stuff's getting +1/+1, by the way, because they've completed a dungeon. Yeah, I mean, I guess we block and sack with the Burnished Heart, because 14 is a lot more than I want to take. Sacrifice the Burnished Heart after blocking. The value of colorless blockers. I guess the color wasn't important right there, but again, keeping Nadaar away, also a good idea. We go down to 18. We are super exposed to a bunch of flyers from Sean. Didn't think about that. Probably could have stayed back with the Skithiryx. The 4 Infect doesn't actually matter that much. Sean going straight to combat. Let's see what he's got. No Kaalia, surprisingly. Oh, maybe he's trying to get value from the dragon. Okay. Goes no attacks with the Avacyn. Okay, yeah. He could have definitely poked our way and put us really low. Playing it a little bit too cool with the Avacyn, I think. Because you still got to worry about this thing, and that just making everyone sack all their stuff, which isn't great. Dream Pillager does 4 damage, gets 4 triggers. Oh, Deflecting Swat is a problem. Oh, end of this turn. Okay, whew. Swords, Sephara, Signet, Deflecting Swat. That's pretty good. Sephara's kind of bad news for the board wipe. Signet first. Swords on Skithiryx. We gain some life. Back to the command zone. Really gonna take a lot of mana, though. Need that Cryptghast to stay alive. Another Signet. Doesn't look like they're getting 2 Sephara. God Pharaoh's Gift. Who do we get this time? Kakusho, probably? Sedisi's also good. Goes for the Dockside, looking for the mana. Sure, that's bad. Yeah, they're gonna get a bunch. 10 treasures. Yep, it's really powerful. Archon of Cruelty, over to the Nadaar opponent. Oh, and by over to them, I mean over to us. Attacking them, but we're going to lose the Cryptghast, which I did not want to do. That's a really good card. We also need to discard, which I do not love. A lot of flyers this game, so Whisper Silk actually kind of relevant. This has lifelink. That could matter. We need that. Need the life gain. I think Murder is Rider. They're all really good. See if he's got anything to do with all the mana. And if he's paying attention to the scriptures. Final Parting, gross. Whatever they get, they have the mana for. Well, I guess if it's a Living Death, this still goes off. They would get a lot of value, though. Well, maybe not that much. They would get a Kakusho and a Sedisi. Still decent. He's really thinking about it. Grey Merchant to the graveyard. Ugh. Sure it's about to show up. Living Death? I kind of wish I put the 4 Infect on them. I knew this type of stuff might happen. I probably should have just let Pauper alone. Because then there'd be at least some chance that we could do this and then get the lethal infect swing. But there's Sedris. Gray Merchant to 1,000,000. He's already after combat, so maybe he doesn't. He's got to get value from whatever he's bringing back. Mirror March. Now Gray Merchant. Could lose the flip. Could also try for Kakusho here. Yeah, it's a Gray Merchant. Hope we're lucky. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Does not get any additional. Nice. And now it's exiled. Thank God. We go down to 14. Opponents are getting pretty low. 11 and 14. D-Manny at 56. Yep. Target acquired. All right. Sean wants to be friends. Fantastic. Destroy all non-artifact creatures. We will not shoot the Avacyn in this moment. Guardian of Faith. There's one. Newer one. Enters the battlefield. Any number of creatures you control phase out. That is a problem with Telegraph board wipes. They can see it coming. They can prepare, especially if you're a white deck. Destroy all non-artifact creatures. Opponent phases out all their stuff. What's weird is our infect damage does not help unless we kill them. Almost means that it might leave Skithiryx as a blocker. There's a swamp. Play a swamp. Cast Skithiryx. Yeah, we'll just leave up the regenerate. Don't feel like burning our life, nor does that 4 damage matter all that much. I mean, I guess, like, yeah, I mean, I guess we could try to take out Pauper, but Pauper's not really the threat. Inventor's Fair. We have a little bit of removal to protect ourselves with also. It's probably a good time for, like, Luxodon Warhammer if he's cracking this Inventor's Fair, which I think he is. Oh, he's playing a Winds of Abandon. Well, I guess that happens. We shall ramp again. That's a Teferi's protection. I mean, I guess we're fine. We made a deal. We get a swamp. Back to the command zone. It's died so many times. Oh, maybe we do need to start hasting it. Yep, gonna equip up the Nadaar. It's a 9/9. That would be Commander Lethal on D-Manny. Which he's going to do. He's gonna send the God Eternal Oketra our way, as well as the 2 zombies. That seems a little savage. Yeah, we're gonna exile this God Eternal Oketra so it'll stop coming back. They can draw a card. Choose an opponent. Why am I choosing an opponent? Oh, an opponent draws a card. Sean can draw a card. Oh, right. Exile doesn't really stop this cycle of cards. Completely forgot about that. Completely forgot about that. I forget that it says also exiles. Well, it's gone for now. We're going to go really low on life. D-Manny goes down to commander damage exactly 21. Thank God. Ugh, Gray Merchant. Phyrexian Arena trigger. Hope this alliance with Sean holds up. I mean, we probably have to Noxious Gear Hulk the Avacyn or something just to gain the life. That's a Demonic Tutor. That seems good. Aurelia could kill us both. Boots. There's a Kaalia with Hazard's Monument. Yeah, he can kill us both. He can kill us both. Avacyn over to Pauper. Kaalia over to Pauper. Dragon our way. Nope, doesn't look like they're going to let us live. Doesn't look like they're going to let us live. There's the Kaalia trigger. Basically anything does it. There's the Aurelia. I probably just would have hardcast the Aurelia, honestly, given this board position. Yep, that's going to be the game. He says he has Gisela too. Yep, down we go. I think we just kind of got into a bad spot with removal. People shot Skithiryx a lot, and that's not helpful. This deck is largely built around Skithiryx being in play, so that was a problem. Maybe we should have got that Whispersil Cloak in sooner. Maybe that's a thing that we should have done. We had a protection spell, we just didn't use it. There was a lot of untargeted removal in there. A lot of forced sacrifice. There was a Winds of Abandon. I think there was a Swords or Path early. I don't know if we had enough time to get this thing in by then. Yeah, Skithiryx just eats all of the removal, so I don't know exactly what you do about that. I believe there was a Kaya's Ghost form in the deck, but they pulled it out because it's not working on Magic Online currently. So stuff like that obviously gonna help. As far as changes, I mean, the deck's pretty good. Worst fears. This is the type of card that, like, it's undoubtedly powerful and it's fun once in a while, but it's the type of thing that I probably just don't play because, you know, at the point of the game where you play a Worst Fears, your opponent has probably been waiting for at least 20 minutes for their turn to come back. And it's not that I'm against mean cards, but, like, stealing someone's turn is the absolute worst. So I would cut this not for power reasons, but just for like playgroup consideration reasons. And again, and I fully understand that like some playgroups are mean and stuff like that. Totally inbounds, not a big deal. But just kind of thinking about like the time it actually takes to play a game of Commander and how long turn cycles can be, stealing someone's turn does not feel good. Not a thing that I'm looking to do specifically, so I would probably cut that and add something. So one thing you could think about like reanimate, animate dead, necromancy. Probably go for the animate dead and the necromancy just because of the life loss. Life loss and reanimate can be a little nasty. This deck seems to be burning its own life at a pretty good clip, so definitely more stuff like that to keep Skithiryx in play. That was our biggest issue, really, is it just wouldn't stay in play. Other than that, I mean, the rest of the deck felt pretty good. There's ramp, maybe a touch more card draw. There's a Read the Bones, Promise of Power, maybe a touch more card draw, but all in all, not bad. What you could do, you could actually use like a Tome of Legends, because that's card draw that doesn't burn your life, and that's good if you want to trade that off. Or you could just go for my favorites, Ambition's Cost, Ancient's Craving. Moonlight Bargain is a card that I like a lot. Oh, they do have Siphon Mind in the deck, very similar in that vein. Might be a little bit tough to get this finale going. Does take a lot of mana to really make that thing effective. We did generate a lot of mana. We did ramp really well, so it's not the end of the world. So yeah, there's probably a couple little things you could tweak, but the big thing is we just couldn't keep that Skithiryx in play at all. And also I'll throw in that, like, I probably could have made better choices if we hasted it that one turn. That probably actually sets things up somewhat differently. So, something even as small as that can matter as you get later into the game. It can be the difference between someone being in one-hit range and not being in one-hit range, but yeah, other than that, I don't think I have too much to say on the deck. It was a ton of fun to play, just couldn't keep our commander in, so that's how it goes. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching. I want to thank my awesome Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. If you want to help support the channel and vote on which decks I play next, feel free to check out my Patreon, the link below.